A few days after Julius Malema appeared in court in East London, and after the ruling that declared him guilty, the world reacted, but not with one voice. Some celebrated, some condemned.
Trump put a target on Malema's back last year in that infamous White House visit with imperialist puppet Cyril Ramaphosa. Why Malema and the EFF? Well, for the masses in South Africa, they're attracted to the EFF over a desire to want to fight for liberation from the racist landlords and the neo-apartheid ANC government responsible for a trail of broken promises and misery. The Black South African masses are hated by the U.S. ruling class for wanting land, decent jobs, adequate housing, basic services, and control of the mines and other imperialist-owned property.
So, they don't hate Malema. They are all shocked by these black men who can speak to them like that, who can speak like that, who can confront them like that, because all blacks must be submissive. And when they paralyze you, they even come and then patronize you, that no, you are better than them.
Work with the United States. We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region.
Such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting.
Julius Malema does not hate white people. He wants black people to be equal with the white people. He wants black children to receive the same treatment that white children are receiving. That's only what Malema is fighting for.
My mother, my father loves me for who I am. Once you love your family, you will love the community. Once you love the community, you will love the society of South Africa.
I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of death. I don't know why I'm still alive. I died long time ago. I'm not scared of killing.
Hello Africa, brothers and sisters. As Africa and the world watch closely Donald Trump defending white people in South Africa, black people in America are breaking their silence, mobilizing, speaking out, defending Julius Malema. You may ask yourself, why are black people in America rallying behind Julius Malema? Why does Trump's statement matter? And what does this mean for South Africa, America, and the future of black resistance worldwide? Stay with me in this video because this story is bigger than headline. It is about history and reclaiming of our dignity. So family, brothers and sisters, let us dive deep.
Today, the South African government postponed the sentencing of EFF leader Julius Malema until April. However, this means that the fight continues, and we must continue to build support to defend Julius Malema right here in the belly of the beast. The Government of National Unity, otherwise known as the GNU coalition, made up of the ANC and the openly pro-imperialist and white-dominated Democratic Alliance, is going after Malema in order to prevent any resistance to the strangulation of the black masses that the GNU enforces on behalf of Trump and the landlords. Trump put a target on Malema's back last year in that infamous White House visit with imperialist puppet Cyril Ramaphosa. Why Malema and the EFF? Well, for the masses in South Africa, they're attracted to the EFF over a desire to want to fight for liberation from the racist landlords and the neo-apartheid ANC government responsible for a trail of broken promises and misery. The Black South African masses are hated by the U.S. ruling class for wanting land, decent jobs, adequate housing, basic services, and control of the mines and other imperialist-owned property, demanding an end to brutal imperialist-backed neo-apartheid. That's what's behind Trump's instruction to Ramaphosa to get rid of Julius Malema. The imperialists want to eliminate any movement that even gestures toward fighting for the land and resources that rightly belong to the Black people of South Africa. We say hands off Malema and the EFF. For many, the end of apartheid in 1994 was supposed to mean real liberation. But the reality is massive unemployment, misery, and rampant exploitation of the Black and colored workers there. It's not too dissimilar to the aspirations for Black liberation here, where after the Civil War, we were promised 40 acres and freedom. Following that, instead, what we got was over a century and a half of racist capitalist oppression, segregation, and massive state repression, with cops gunning down Black and brown people with impunity. Many Black people in the U.S. already feel a connection to the Black South African masses. There is a natural alliance. They, along with the entire working class here, share a common enemy in U.S. imperialism. They are trying to do to Malema in South Africa what they've done to Black and militant political leaders here too, just like Mumia Abu-Jamal, lock them away or worse. Trump's crushing and starvation of the Black South African masses goes hand in hand with his tightening the noose on the most vulnerable and people here, and the assault on workers' living standards. And the threat to this country's Black population is undeniable. But both of these struggles, the struggle for the national liberation of Black South Africans and the struggle for Black liberation here, have something else in common too. They have been betrayed by those in the union movement and the left who seek alliances with the capitalist rulers and their politicians. Here, that expresses itself with those who try to keep the struggle for Black liberation confined to the liberals and the Democratic Party, which in turn has resulted in turning off many workers who have seen their livelihoods and their lives suffer at the hands of the Democrats and now turn to Trump. This has caused divisions in the working class and especially along racial lines. These polarizations help keep people divided against themselves as Trump launches attacks on immigrants and the unions. And now that the liberal mask has been torn off, and the true face, with Trump at the helm of racist U.S. imperialism exposes itself, from the bombing of Venezuela and kidnapping of Maduro to the continued genocide in Palestine and the attacks on Iran, U.S. imperialism is trying to force the world to line up behind its ambitions, to maintain control over everyone. As the Mandani administration here works hand in hand with the healthcare bosses to freeze out the nurses on strike, and the Trump administration sticks ice on protesters and guns them down in Minneapolis, all of these fights, there's an urgent need, for us to fight against these divisions and build an alliance within the working class. All of the fights you will hear about today, from the fight to free political prisoners, the fight to defend Malema, to release Maduro, to fight against racist cop terror, to defend immigrants against ICE, defend striking workers, they all show that the way out of this mess is to bridge the divisions based on the need for all those under attack to take a united stand against the common enemy in U.S. imperialism. What's urgently needed is to build an anti-imperialist alliance and a united front of working class struggles against these attacks. Now, we have a lot of groups here, and we look forward to talking to you during the course of this and also afterwards about really building the kind of united front defense that's necessary to take on the Trump administration. So we look forward to talking with you, and in the meantime, hands off Malema and South Africa, down with U.S. imperialism, and for a united struggle of Black and white workers for Black liberation. Thank you.
It is the white regime that it is white people who must be ashamed of what they've done to us. You cannot turn tables now and want to blame me for the crimes committed by white people. It is a white regime that killed children in 1976. It is the white regime that killed children in the 80s and in the early 90s. It is white people who engaged in the wars of dispossession and forcefully took our land and our cows. Why can't you take responsibility? Why can't you for once just say sorry for the crimes we've committed against you?
Malema disputes claims.
Yes, that is a message from our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our relatives in the United States of America rallying behind Julius Malema. Here in the continent, one of the Pan-Africanist famous, Mr. Joshua Maponga, has released an open letter to Julius Malema. And here is what Joshua Maponga has said to Julius Malema.
A few days after Julius Malema appeared in court in East London, and after the ruling that declared him guilty, the world reacted, but not with one voice. Some celebrated, some condemned. Some watched in silence, but across Africa and the diaspora, something deeper happened. People did not see just a court case. They saw a mirror. They saw history repeating itself. Because whenever a system feels threatened, it does not argue ideas, it targets the messenger. And in that moment, a voice rose from Zimbabwe. Not from a politician, not from a party, but from a Pan-African thinker. Joshua Maponga wrote an open letter, not to provoke, not to flatter, but to remind. A letter that spoke not only to Malema but to Africa itself. He began simply, "Dear Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, I woke up with you on my mind." Those words matter, because they tell us this is no longer just South Africa's story. It is continental. It is generational. Maponga reminds us that Julius Malema is not a product of privilege. He is a product of poverty, of selling on the streets, of knowing hunger, humiliation, and exclusion. That is why he resonates. He does not speak about the poor. He speaks from the poor, and that is exactly what unsettles colonial systems. A man who understands their pain because he lived it. The letter does not deny the court case. It does not beg for sympathy. Instead, it reframes the moment. It says, "Do not let their legal battles drain your spirit, because when power cannot defeat an idea, it distracts the carrier." Court cases are not always about justice. Sometimes they are about fatigue, about slowing you down, about keeping you busy while the system remains untouched. And then comes the most powerful truth in the letter. Even if they jail you, they will not silence you. They will only transform an activist into a political prisoner, and a political prisoner into a legend. History confirms this pattern. Mandela and Nkrumah. Lumumba prison never erased them. It amplified them. Maponga then speaks not only as an individual, but as part of a collective. The farmers of thought, a reminder that revolutions are not built only by crowds in the streets, but by minds that refuse to submit. They stand with Malema, not because he is perfect, but because he represents unfinished liberation. And then comes a warning disguised as advice. When you one day occupy the highest office, Remember these institutions. Remember how colonial governance systems weaponized law against transformation? Remember how neutral institutions suddenly became political when power shifted. And when that day comes, do not recycle the same structures over Ultam. Replace borrowed systems with indigenous ones. Build governance that reflects African history, African values, African reality. This is not a call for revenge. It is a call for completion, because freedom without structural change is temporary. The letter ends with calm certainty. The battle is on, and victory is certain. Not because the road is easy, but because history bends toward those who endure. This letter matters because it captures a moment many feel but struggle to articulate. That this court case is not just about Julius Malema. It is about how far African leaders are allowed to go before the system reacts. It is about who defines justice and whose pain is considered legitimate. Across the world, people receive this verdict differently because people understand oppression differently. Some saw law, others saw warning. Many saw a familiar script. And that is why this letter resonates. It does not shout, it does not threaten. It remembers. It reminds us that heroes are often shaped in moments of pressure, not praise. That movements are tested not when they are popular, but when they are punished. Whether one agrees with Julius Malema or not, this moment forces an honest question. Can Africa truly transform using systems designed to prevent transformation? That question will not disappear with a verdict. It will follow us, and history will record who stood still and who stood firm.
Yes, welcome back, family, brothers and sisters. That is an open letter from Joshua Maponga to Julius Malema. As I said at the beginning, Julius Malema defends black South Africans, and Donald Trump defends white people in South Africa while he is in the United States of America. So it looks like Malema has been left alone and being abandoned. But to my people, to my brothers and sisters in South Africa, so they have to stand with Julius Malema. He's the only African politician who stood up in front of white people to defend the interests of black people. The rest are cowards. Malema is the only African politician or black politician who can stand up in front of majority of white people and speak without fear. I'm talking about politicians. I'm not talking about others. We know we have people such as TRAORE, Goita. Those are strong men who can stand up and reject any proposal from white people. But to African politicians, Malema is the only African politician who can stand up, confront white people toe to toe. So what white people want to do right now, they want to silence Julius Malema. Malema has become the voice of voiceless black people in South Africa. So white people in South Africa with their cousin in America, in Europe, want to take the land in South Africa, want to control the land in South Africa. They know very well, they have been there for a long time. They know what is inside the land in South Africa. They know there is gas, there is oil, there is minerals, critical minerals, rare earth minerals, everything is there, coal. So they know that if this land will go back to the right owners, black people will wake up. Black people will own the means of production. They think that white people don't want. If you have listened very carefully, what Malema is saying, he wants to share the land. And what white people fear the most is to share the land with Africans. And I don't know why white people don't want to share the land with black people. You see, a president such as Donald Trump still believing that the land in South Africa is owned by white people. While he knows very well historically that the land, these settlers and colonizers, they didn't come with the land. No one is coming with the land. They found the fertile land with richest resources underground, and then they stayed there. They chased, they killed our ancestors, our founding fathers. They jailed them. Remember what they did to Nelson Mandela and others. They assassinated Christiani and others. They came for free, and they took our land for free, and they want to be compensated, and they want to own the land. So if there's a time for black people worldwide to come together this time, I've been asking many times that we Africans, if we don't realize that our unity is our salvation, we are going nowhere. We are going nowhere. Look what right now Donald Trump is doing. He's signing deal. You know what deal America is signing? Is to own resources. Right now, America is owning oil in Venezuela and other minerals. And America signed deal with Rwanda and Congo. American companies will operate in Congo, own resources in Congo. American companies want to own resources in South Africa. Of course, we know that many companies from US, from Europe, operating in America, in South Africa, in the mining sector. So right now, America is forcing Iran to sign a deal. It's not about deals, it's about taking control of resources. That's what Donald Trump is looking for. And if you control resources, you control the wealth, you control the world, you control the prices. So the agenda here is not about Malema. The agenda is the power, to take back the power of black people. Have been asking fellow Africans, let us unite behind TRAORE. Young people in the continent, you know, what I understood right now as I continue to be in these platforms and I grow more older, I realize that many of us black people, we are still having colonial mentalities. We don't trust in ourselves. We don't love each other. Just imagine Donald Trump is in America defending few white people in South Africa. But we have Africans who are here in the continent of Africa. They cannot speak anything about Malema. They cannot stood up and defend Malema. They think this is maybe they have to be in EFF. No, this is not about EFF. This is about black people. The time has come, brothers and sisters. Right now you see they are looking for Iran. After Iran, the next country, it will be South Africa. I'm telling you the truth. After South Africa, they'll go to Burkina Faso. After Burkina Faso, they'll go to Mali. What America wants is resources. All those you see, Armada, these aircraft carriers, all those things needs resources. Those machines, military equipment needs resources, and resources are in Africa. Oil and other critical minerals to develop more sophisticated weapons. So America understood very well that if they can put pressure to South Africa will give up and hand over resources to white minority, and to be easy for America to have access. Now they are pushing an agenda to create their own country. Just imagine. They have already divided Somalia into two countries, Somaliland and Somalia. They have succeeded to divide Sudan into South Sudan and Sudan. Libya right now is not okay. Congo is not at ease. I saw Congolese demanding the freedom of Kiev region. They want to have their own country there. So black people, we are at a critical moment. We are at a critical time. If we don't come together, if we don't unite, nothing. So family, brothers and sisters, if you have something to share with us, please do so through the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. This is Make Africa Great. We are here to find best solutions for challenges. One thing that we need to do is come together, unite, and support one another. This is our time. This is the little time and exactly time for we Africans to come together, unite, and support one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.